Hello, lovely people out there, and welcome to your daily focus tarot for Sunday, the 5th of June, 2022. Now, in your money and career focus, Seven of Cups. This dragon, he looks quite ugly, and he's got his fingers over the gold here. The gold framing, which is hard to say if this is also a snake or a dragon. It almost looks a little bit like a cobra. So it's kind of like the dragon is trying to crush the snake. And we all associate dragons with gold. You can see a castle in the clouds high up on a mountain here. You can see these Seven of Cups are all sitting there, and the dragon is intertwined between them. And then you have this ghost-like figure. Prayer and meditation beads on the arm. A mask falling or being pulled off. This mask is rather neutral, but this figure is not. Now, this figure could be the hermit. It could be death. It could be your intuition. It also makes me think of Hamlet because of the way it's holding a skull. But the lower jaw is missing from the skull. So the skull cannot talk. And this figure is more ghostly and in the background. It's like it's controlling. It's egging this dragon on in its fight against this snake, or this fight to hold down and keep its gold, to keep its cups. And the dragon is being very careful to keep the cups upright. The books say this represents wishful thinking, unrealistic goals, spiritual goals, goals towards growth, towards accruing wealth. To me, this card is, because of the prayer beads, the cloaked figure, and the skull. Even though this is what your money and your career focus should be, to me this is more like a card of, rather than wishful thinking or unrealistic goals, it's like a hidden agenda that somebody has. And the hidden agenda is less to do with spirituality, even though they may cloak it as being spiritual. It's definitely about greed. It's about control. And underneath that, what flipped over was the world. And she's not being controlled by anybody. Even her hair is, well, her hair is kind of snaking around. And the gold here it's a little bit kind of like maybe a piece of seaweed. Like she's Venus, she's, or Aphrodite, she's free. She's got the victory wreath, and she's holding it up. She doesn't have anybody around her, these are the symbols, the 4 zodiac signs usually associated with the 4 elements, the 4 corners of the earth. The world is like you've achieved success. You've accomplished everything you wanted. You've reached the final destination. You own the world now. The world is your oyster, so to speak. It can also mean that you've integrated knowledge. So the knowledge of, in terms of greed, in terms of somebody, this monster being let out, and the mask falling off this person who's pretending to be something they're not in your work environment, or in your career, or perhaps you're, fooling yourself. Once you deal with this, then you've got the world. You've integrated that knowledge. You've accomplished what you set out to do, which is not necessarily to be greedy. Whatever your work and your business, your financial goal is, you'll achieve it, but you have to go through this first. You have to go through the mask being dropped, through the lies, through the deception and the unrealistic goals, unrealistic beliefs in terms of your career and your finances. But you are going to get the world. So this is a good outcome. In your personal focus, for your family and friends, your spiritual growth, personal growth, the first card out was the Hierophant, which in some decks is the High Priest. This card, he's got a very Zoroastrian feel to him, although this is more of a, I don't really know, it's not really a Zoroastrian looking symbol, but the gold here is, and Zoroastrianism is it's a religion in Persia. I think I mentioned Persia yesterday too, for some reason. It probably Queen Freddie Mercury is most famous for practicing, but it's basically about the balance between good and evil, sort of like it's a precursor to Christianity, and this is more of like, to me, like a symbol of possibly Eastern Orthodox Christianity, or maybe Byzantine. And he's definitely got a mudra here going on. Not really sure what mudra it is. It's almost U. If it were sign language, if it were American Sign Language, it would almost be a U. If you were doing the alphabet, and these sort of fantasy fish Mardi Gras masks. Not really sure what they are, but they're definitely emphasizing the 5 here. The V, or in some alphabets it might be a U, the way that it's written. But this is talking about like the Hierophant, the high priest, is the symbol of institutions. Obviously, institutionalized religion, governments, things like that. And it's also talking about getting guidance in the spiritual realm, like discovering secret knowledge and understanding it. So your personal focus today, it is Sunday, so it could be about your spiritual growth. Maybe not. Because then we also have the Nine of Pentacles. And this is a card of self-sufficiency and appreciating the finer things in life. Most people consider wine to be a finer thing in life. She's growing her own grapes, whether she's eating them for food or for drink. She's got her house with nothing else around it. She doesn't need anybody else around her. And she's looking kind of leisurely here, even though she's doing work. So this is talking about self-sufficiency in that institution, in that knowledge. For other clarifiers, we drew the Three of Pentacles. This is a weird sort of tree, angel. Not sure what this is. I want to say it's a tree, but it's also an angel. And the pentacles are growing from the tree, and they're quite big. And these three guys, two of them almost look like monks or maybe helpers. One of them is definitely some sort of skilled tradesman or craftsman, because he's got that apron on. He's got the plans, and they're working on the plans. So this is talking about collaboration and learning. Implementing solutions that lead to success, that lead to these pentacles getting larger and larger. And with the Nine of Pentacles, that's what this self-sufficiency is about. The Artist also fell out with the Three of Pentacles at the same time. So the Artist is unique to this Ethereal Visions Tarot deck. And you see he's looking at and drawing this tree, or maybe the sky around the tree. And you can guess that this is the Tree of Life. This is also one of the few cards in the deck that has very, very little gold. You look and the gold is at his feet. So it's number 23, and it basically underlines the Artist. And you have Hermes here with his winged feet. And there's a lot of symbolism there. He's fleet of foot, would be the, he's fast, would be the first piece of symbolism. He's also a messenger. And you see this tree is, it's up in the sky. This castle's up in the sky too. And the tree's more solid than the castle is. But neither of them are particularly solid. He's definitely imagining this. I'm going to read to you from the book. It says, the Artist is the vessel of creation. The card signifies mankind and shows when you need to open up to the knowledge that is available if you stop and set aside the distractions of the human condition and listen. And it says the keywords are visionary, interpreter, creation, and passionate. So to get this Nine of Pentacles, which is very close to the Ten of Pentacles, to get this sufficiency, this learning and collaboration that's going to lead to success here, to get this wisdom, this guidance that you want to interpret, you need to open up. I definitely agree that we should be setting aside our distractions more often and doing things like just sitting in contemplation, enjoying the sun and the food that we eat and being grateful for it, and listening to others as we're making our plans. I don't disagree with those, but this is a really interesting card to get with the Hierophant, with the High Priest. The Messenger drawing the Tree of Life. And the castle. The castle is a symbolism of not just home. It's also a symbolism of like the home in the sky, like some people, Christian people would say heaven. Pagans would say Asgard, or depending on their particular pagan belief, they would basically say the same thing, equivalent. It's home in the sky. But you could also look at it like not necessarily related to a god or gods or an afterlife. You could look at it as the castle is not just your physical body, but your soul. And if you have your soul and the Tree of Life, and one is sort of pushing out the other one, so to speak, you want that balance, and you don't want it to be, temporary. You want the two of them to be taking up equal space. But right now, this one is taking up way more space, and this one is taking up background. So the Tree of Pentacles, which is the material, it's wealth, it's stability. You're definitely more focused on planning out your success. I'm getting sidetracked. You use your vision. Use your inner knowledge of what's good versus what's not good, and work towards that. I mean, you're really, really close to achieving what you want in your personal life, to getting that self-sufficiency, to getting that stability. Keep going. Keep going. Use your visions. Have a great Sunday. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you'd like.